If you're in the mood for real food, it's Concord Food Co-op.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Nazzy from the Pulse of New Hampshire. I love that jingle, Greg. That is just you can't not smile when you hear that jingle. Well, go ahead.
It is funny. I mean, it does stick with people. So once in a while you'll run into people and they'll sing it to you. So that's always fun.
That's the beauty of it. Welcome to the Concord Co-op Community Connections. This is when we speak to local members of the community about different issues, different health issues. And today we've got some really, really qualified experts joining us right now. We've got Lorna. She's a I'm going to say it slowly now. Transformational Prep Facilitator. Welcome, Lorna.
Thank you. It's nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes. And we've got Amanda. And Amanda is a Naturopathic Doctor in Warner. Did I say that right?
You so did. You were spot on. Well done.
Oh, God. Welcome, ladies. Welcome.
Hello.
So today we're going to be talking about something that's very important to everybody, balance. And that seems to be what we're all kind of lacking over this last year, our balance between exercise, eating right, and then something that I really, really believe in, your mental clarity. And I think over the last year, we've let one, two, or even possibly all three of those very, very important things slip. Right, Greg?
Well, that's what I'm not quite sure of. I mean, a lot of us had more time. We had more personal time, it seems. But at the same time, a lot of people were, I think their lives were very disrupted. Their pattern was different. And so, what direction did they take? Did they try to get in, a little bit more, were they a little bit more reflective and try to improve their wellness, or were they so distracted that things were so different? So I'd be interested from Lorna and Amanda, what did you see in people's lifestyles? Did they change for the better or change for the worse? It seems like I saw a lot more people. They had more time to be out with they were buying new bicycles and out walking, and so it seemed like there was a movement towards getting more exercise, but maybe people did become a little bit more sedimentary. What did you two find?
Let's start with Lorna.
Well, I think it's a little bit of both of what you said, Greg. And in my own personal experience, my own life improved. And, I began to just really look at my routine and what, first, mentally, relationships that were in my life, and exercise, and my spiritual life, and my work life. So, people that I have talked to about this have said that it really, they became aware of where they were overextended in their lives, because they were home and so there was a lot of awareness that in talking with people that about that, and people wanting to do more on a spiritual level. I mean, I hear more about breath work now since the pandemic than I've ever heard before. So I think there's a greater awareness around people having more balance in their life, making more time for themselves, exercise, and their spiritual life, and their children too, children being home all the time.
Yep,
so yeah.
True. Yep. Now, Amanda, same question. We'll toss it over to you.
Yeah, I totally agree. And the fact that even like with my patients in general, at first it was chaos. It was just so much chaos and anxiety of, oh my gosh, what is going on? But then, and that's, from folks going from like working in their office setting to working home and trying to homeschool and, handle the kiddos and the whole thing. But then I think folks started to kind of calm, I think. And like what Lorna said is really be able to take that time and focus in on what they need. And now they have the time to do it.
Right.
And so then things started to change a little bit. And now I'm hearing like folks are being asked to like go back into the office setting or, do what, change, kind of go back. They don't want to go.
Right.
So many folks are so happy being at home and being able to get up, meditate, or cook and spend the time, that's what I'm getting. They just don't want to go. And so now they're trying to say, can you write me a letter on my behalf so I can stay at home? I'm like, oh my gosh, I would love to do that.
I mean, it's so true. My sister, she works for a company, and this last year she's been able to work from home, and she works on her own schedule. She now gets up, she works out before the kids wake up, and then she logs on to her work machine from her dining room table, does her work for a few hours. Then it's time to help the kids with their schoolwork, so she logs off, and then in the evening she logs on. So she loves it that she's able to make her own schedule during the middle of the day. If she wants to get up and make a sandwich, she logs out of her work computer and she's able to do it. Now her company is getting ready to go back in person, and she doesn't want to go. She's having a lot of anxiety about it. So I think that's very true. Yeah.
And Lorna, you can probably speak to this really quite well, is, making that transition, going from, working from home and being able to take what you've learned from being at home to back into the workplace. And being able to take like 5 minutes, close the office door, breathe, meditate, stand up or something, so you can combine the two worlds. It's so hard.
Yeah, I find it's almost like relearning how to be with people again after, I know for me, I went through a huge shift internally and how to relate to people. But to speak to, being home, I mean, doctor's appointments are so much easier. It's online. Church is online, everything. And it's so convenient. Although I miss the in-person connection, but I have really found that it's really different being with people now in this new space that I am in within my own self. And I've been on a journey of self-reflection for a really long time, and it's always unfolding. And this pandemic just took me a deeper dive into it, which was pretty awesome. So at first it was rough, but.
And did you find, do you have any idea if individuals, for the most part, their diets improved because they're at their home thinking, I have the opportunity, I have the time to make myself a salad for lunch, versus at the office, they were going across the street and getting fast food or eating out of a cafe on a continuum. So did individuals' diets potentially improve as and more thought into what it was they were eating?
Absolutely. I agree. I totally agree. Sorry if
I. No, go ahead.
I think it's like you're saying, like, people are actually taking the time, or it's like you can go, you're sitting at home, you can go to, well, for me, it's downstairs and go to the kitchen and actually spend the time to cook and actually be really focused on what is actually helping the body. And because people are starting to feel better, and so they want to continue with that. And so instead of, running across the street and going to, a fast food place of some sort, they're able to, really look at, okay, so, way back when I knew I couldn't have eggs because it was causing me brain fog. But now, instead of, being able to grabbing an egg, they're actually saying, what are my alternatives? And I can actually look at that and spend the time and do that. And that also trickles over to like the family as well. So now they're not only cooking for themselves, then it's trickling over into the entire family, which is nice. And for me, and I'm going to say this selfishly, I'm able to, like, doing all the telehealth that I'm able to do, I get to get into like people's homes and be like, okay, so now pick up your computer and take me into the kitchen. We get to go through. It's absolutely hilarious.
And you can see inside their fridge, in their cabinets.
Totally can. And then I see like their kids, like their heads like sort of pop through the, the camera or whatever. I'm like, oh, that's little Joey. I get it now.
So instead of a nice breakfast, he's eating a Pop-Tart. Interesting.
I'm like, busted. Sorry.
Greg, let me toss it back to you, because during the pandemic, the co-op has been open the whole time. Have you found that your business has increased because you sell a lot of organic and a lot of whole and natural foods? Have you found that sales have increased?
It was mixed all the way through the pandemic. A significant amount of the co-op's business was the hot bar, the buffet, and that of course shut right down, and the salad bar shut down, and everything shut down. So the downtown businesses weren't there to come in for that. However, the co-op still did very well through all this because we have the e-shop, and so people were shopping online, and they had the ability to pick it up at curbside, which was something that they really wanted to do. Now that to answer your question, now that all that has passed, customer count is up considerably at the co-op. So there was, some degree of awakening or change as to the products that the co-op offers. Clean food, and so I there's a lot of different individuals that are shopping now. Co-op membership, which is just $100 one time. Membership is just continuously people are continuously signing up for ownership of the co-op, and so now we're past 8,000 owner members of the co-op.
Wow.
I mean, anyone can shop at the co-op, but if you go to the website, Concord Food Co-op website, you can see all the benefits of becoming a member. But it's I think a lot more people wanted to be connected to the mission and purpose of the co-op, and that's what becoming a member of the co-op does as well.
I think that's really cool. And just to kind of go on what Amanda and Lorna are saying, I think at least in my family, we are now at a point, because my wife and my son have been home the whole time, and I think in being home, they were able to plan out the meals better. You know what I'm saying? To more plan it, as opposed to, oh, you'll grab a quick lunch at school, or I'll grab a quick fast food. So I think now that we're a year into the pandemic, we've finally figured it out, and we're shopping more foods from the co-op with one ingredient, clean foods and different things. Now, the only thing that we haven't figured out yet is somehow, some way fitting in the exercise. So Lorna, can you speak on that? How in this year plus of the pandemic, where things are starting to open back up and we're starting to go back to work and back to school full time, how can we squeeze in some time to get our body fit as well as our mind?
Well, I would say to evaluate your day and look at where you can find some time, whether it's before, early in the morning, or if it's after work, or it even might be midday during, a lunch break. That is what I would suggest. It might be taking the family on a hike, on the weekend. I mean, that's a really great way to get it in as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be in a gym, For myself, I kind of plan my exercise out on a daily basis on what works best for that day.
Right.
Whether it's in the morning or whether it's in the afternoon or later in the afternoon. So, yeah.
How many minutes or how many hours of exercise are you doing? So let's say
for me,
yeah,
you can get it all done in a half hour.
Yeah. Amanda's nodding her head. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, 45 for me, I have disabilities, so I do go to the gym, and I spend anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour, and I'll get it all in with doing some cardio and physical therapy. But there are days when I'll take a walk by the river, or I practice yoga. So I really have different regimens. I'm not, I'm very flexible with the exercise that I do. Yeah. I did want to speak to the whole schedule thing. We would wear, I know for me, it was like people would wear their busy days like it was a badge of honor. I did this, got this done, that done. Yeah. And to let that go, I know for me, I do Ayurvedic cleanses seasonally, and I just did a spring cleanse. And because of the pandemic, I've been really able to take time to immerse in the rituals in the morning. And it's just like, wow, when I go back to the workplace, I really want to keep this up. But when I go back to work, it's like squeezing that all in again. And, it's challenging. Right. But I think that awareness is happening for people that busyness isn't a badge of honor anymore for me anyway. But and it takes time to come out of that space, I think.
I hear what you're saying. Amanda's nodding her head over there. Anything you want to say to that?
Yeah, I think that's the hardest thing. It's like you can, your diet, of course, is so important. And before we got started talking, I just drew up this like goofy little, flow chart, because that's just what I do. Like the balance between meditation and breath, and how that releases your endorphins, and how that, it all goes back to like pain and that type of thing. And I think it's like you said, it's figuring out your schedule, how you can get in your exercise, keeping it balanced, whether it's cardio one day versus yoga the next day. And even if it's in smaller increments, that's just fine. But figuring it out, like what works the best for you. And like Lorna, like you said, it's trying to make that decision, sticking to it. And I think that's the hardest part, is sticking to it and knowing what your boundaries are. And instead of, I don't know, instead of going back to the office for that extra hour or so, taking 15 minutes and going for a walk first, and then maybe going to the office for, a half hour or whatever that may be. But trying to, again, mold those two worlds. So difficult.
Yes.
Well, I want to speak to one thing that popped in my brain was, I think people take on too much. They're like, I'm going to start this routine. And, they make it so big, where all it takes, I would speak to clients, is it could take just getting started. That's the hardest part. Like if people wanted to practice yoga and that was hard, I would say, just roll out your mat. After my car accident, that's all I did. I rolled at my mat and I sat at the end of my mat and I just sat with myself for 5 minutes. Yeah. It just to get started. And then you start building momentum, even for walking, start 5-10 minutes, little increments. People self-sabotage when they take it on in big chunks.
Right. And you're almost setting yourself up to fail. Ladies, in the last few minutes that we have here, Lorna, how do we get in touch with you? And then Amanda, it's going to be the same question. What's the best way to get in touch with you?
So my website is gethealthywithlorna.org. Mm-hmm. That's the best way to reach out to me there. Yeah.
Information is up there. And Amanda, same question. How do we get in touch with you so we can?
Yeah, my website. There it is. It's h2health.org. And then you can call the office as well at 603-456-2453. And that number is right on the website as well.
It's right there as well. Yeah. Now, can we pick our own times of the day? So Lorna and Amanda, if we needed to talk to you, can we pick a time during the day, or is there a better time, mornings, evening? What's the best time of day to have a session with either one of you?
For me, I would say between 10 and 4 is the best time. Yeah.
Okay. And Amanda?
Yeah, and my office is open Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. And we're doing mainly telehealth now, but always checking the voicemail if we're not there. And it's 9 to about 4 o'clock. We're there a lot. So feel free to reach out and leave a voicemail if we don't pick up.
Love it. And Greg, in the last minute that we have here, let's talk about the singing competition that's coming up. And if people want to enter and get in on that.
Wow.
Well, it's for the Concord Coalition to End Homelessness talent show. It's May 1st at the Bank of New Hampshire stage. And today we picked the finalists. So this morning, the 7 finalists were selected. Great. It'll be a great show. I would encourage folks to go to concordhomeless.org and to see all about the talent show. And tickets are on sale right now at the Capitol Center for the Arts. It's limited seating there. However, it will be live streamed right on the Concord Coalition to End Homelessness website and it'll also be on Concord TV, live streamed on Concord TV. So it's at 7 to 8 p.m. May 1st.
May 1st. And how many different acts do we have lined up for that?
7 acts are in the show.
Oh, that's going to be a great show.
Oh yeah, it's a very diverse act, so it's going to be a really good show. We just picked the acts this morning, went through them all. All of it was a tough competition to select the final acts, and that was done this morning. And all the proceeds go right back to help the coalition, which I think is amazing. That's awesome. Yes, yeah, and the live stream is free. Anyone can get on and watch the live stream. Tickets at the event itself are $35 each, and that comes with appetizers from the Concord Food Co-op and O's Steak and Seafood.
There we go. Greg, thank you. Amanda, thank you. Lorna, thank you. Stay safe. And we'll see you all next time.
You too.
Thank
Nice
y'all.
to meet you, Amanda.
Nice
Bye.
to meet you
If you're in the mood for real food, it's Concord Food Co-op.
Yeah, nice ending.